On March 25th, Taiwanese authorities deported Yaya, a mainland Chinese spouse, back to China. The case has since sparked widespread attention across Chinese language social media. The online personality Yaya, whose real name is Liu Zhenya, is a Chinese national married to a Taiwanese citizen. In Taiwan, spouses from mainland China are commonly referred to as Lupei or Zhongpei. They are individuals who hold or once held household registration in mainland China and are married to citizens of the Republic of China or Taiwan. Liu was ordered to leave Taiwan after making public statements in support of a military takeover of Taiwan by the Chinese Communist Party. Despite previously declaring she would never return to China, Liu appeared at Taipei Songshan Airport on the final day of her departure deadline. At 8:45 p.m., she boarded a Xiamen Airlines flight bound for China. Before boarding, she stated, "I leave with a clear conscience and will return with dignity." According to the flight tracking website Flight Trader 24, the flight landed at Fuzhou Changle International Airport at 9:59 p.m. Over 1,000 people reportedly tracked the flight online in real time. Online users in China closely followed the situation. Some posted on Douyin, Chinese version of TikTok, that they were searching for live streams of her arrival, but many of the broadcasts were repeatedly taken down. One user wrote, "I was just watching one and it got shut down." Someone tried to stream from the airport, but the feed was cut shortly after. Another added, "I was live streaming and several of my accounts were removed." Footage taken at the airport showed Liu wearing a pink baseball cap as she passed through customs. She was immediately approached by several unidentified individuals dressed in black clothing who surrounded her and escorted her out of the airport. One of them took her luggage and carried it for her. They did not speak and placed her into a van before leaving the scene. Many people in China speculated about the identity of those who received her. Comments included, "Young men, short hair, mask, guess who they are? And look at how the ones in black pants walk and you'll understand." Others claimed that national security personnel were monitoring the scene, pointing out that all the individuals wore masks. Some online users questioned whether Liu had ties to government authorities. One comment read, "She might be someone within the system, possibly undercover until now." Someone else commented, "The fact that she is being protected by national security only reinforces Taiwan's view that she is not just an ordinary mother. That could lower her chances of being approved for a family reunification visa." The events began on March 11, 2025, when Taiwanese online figure Ba Zhong announces that he had reported Liu Zhenya for promoting military unification on platforms such as YouTube and Douyin. Liu operated a Douyin account under the name Yaya in Taiwan, where she frequently praised the Chinese government and expressed support for military action against Taiwan. Taiwan's National Immigration Agency later determined that her statements such as, "There is no longer any need to justify military unification," posed a potential threat to national or social security. As a result, her dependent residency permit was revoked. She was ordered to leave Taiwan by a specific deadline and was barred from applying again for 5 years. She became the first mainland Chinese spouse to receive such a penalty. On the morning of March 25th, Liu held a press conference outside the Ministry of the Interior stating, "I do not want war. I support peaceful unification." She denied advocating military action, called for the administrative penalty to be withdrawn, and declared she would not leave voluntarily. However, later that afternoon, she changed her decision and chose to depart that evening. A pro-China group, the Taiwan International Family Mutual Aid Association, accompanied Liu to the ministry. Outside the building, they held a press conference accusing Taiwan's immigration agency of violating international agreements, persecuting mainland Chinese spouses, and infringing on human rights. The group shouted slogans condemning the agency's actions. At the same time, supporters of Liu's deportation gathered on the opposite side of the venue. They had been mobilized by Ba Zhong and rapper Ming Nanyang PYC, also known as Chen Boyuan. During the event, Ba Zhong attempted twice to approach the press conference area but was stopped by police. While the press conference was underway, political commentator Wen Landong posted on Facebook revealing content from Liu's earlier videos. He cited one clip where she referred to the Chinese military's joint sword drill, stating, "Defend national sovereignty, always be prepared. Maybe when we wake up tomorrow morning, the island will already be covered in 5-star red flags." Wen Langdong stated that he is highly sensitive to language patterns. If Yaya were simply a pro-unification supporter, her phrasing would likely be, "The strength of the PLA reassures me." However, what she said, "Defend national sovereignty, always be prepared," carries a top-down tone, more like a command from someone in power rather than language an ordinary citizen would use. Wen noted that upon checking, he found this exact phrase was used by Chinese Communist Party General Secretary Xi Jinping and provided a brief explanation to support this. Wen further pointed out that after Yaya was ordered to be deported, a series of events suggested she may not be an ordinary individual. These included a coordinated interview with pro-China media, criticism from Taiwan Fact Check Center Chairman Lo Xingheng against the court's ruling, protest at the Ministry of the Interior organized by pro-unification groups, and support from Wang Hongwei, a frequent guest on CCTV's Across the Strait program, who continued to back Yaya despite facing a recall vote. Wen emphasized that the case of Yaya reveals a broader network. He described it as a string of sticky rice dumplings, a Chinese idiom implying a linked chain of events, suggesting that Yaya is not acting alone but is backed by a coordinated pro-unification propaganda network using precise CCP-style language and strategic media tactics. On March 25th, the Black Bear Academy in Taiwan issued a statement saying, "Advocating military aggression is not a human right." It emphasized that the issue goes beyond individual behavior. The organization said, "The Chinese Communist regime is a hostile foreign force, and Taiwan is currently facing an ongoing United Front campaign." Pro-unification Chinese spouses living in Taiwan who promote violent unification are no longer making personal political statements, but are engaging in coordinated and systematic information warfare. Regarding Yaya's statements, lawyer Ling Zhikun commented, "Every country has things that cannot be said. For example, in Arab countries, making jokes about Allah can lead to severe consequences. In Thailand, criticizing the monarchy can result in imprisonment." He also cited the case of Taiwanese national Shun Andro, who was detained and deported from the United States after joking about bringing a gun to school, and is now permanently barred from re-entering the US. He stressed that when a mainland Chinese spouse in Taiwan promotes military takeover, it is not freedom of speech, but a threat. If you threaten us from within the borders of the China, that's one thing. But if you come into our home and issue threats, how can we not expel you? That said, we've been lenient. We only deported her. Unlike the CCP, we didn't make her disappear. Lin added, "If you're in China, the Chinese government tells you what to do and you do it." He questioned why this Chinese spouse felt entitled to refuse cooperation, declined to buy a plane ticket, and even write posts criticizing the government. President of the Taiwan Professor Association, Chen Lifu, said in an interview that Miss Liu Yaya is not a citizen of the Republic of China and does not hold a Taiwanese ID. She is a mainland Chinese spouse with residency status but no political rights. Since she violated regulations, her dependent residency permit was revoked, and her case was handled according to standard procedures for foreigners. He emphasized that every country has a right to deport foreign nationals. Chan explained that countries such as the United States and Japan have laws prohibiting foreign nationals from engaging in political activities. A mainland Chinese spouse advocating military unification in Taiwan falls into this category, and the government has legal rights to revoke her residency, cancel her national health insurance, and deport her. He criticized Liu's framing of the situation as a case of family separation. He said the immigration agency merely issued an administrative order requiring her to leave within a set time frame, which was already a very lenient response. If a Taiwanese citizen were in China calling for the overthrow of the People's Republic of China, they would be arrested immediately and face heavy punishment under China's national security law. And also stated that Liu Zhenya is an adult with the ability to work and could have taken her child back to live in China. Taiwan's government would not stop her. Whether the child lives with the mother or father is up to the couple to decide. He said there would be no issue with visitation or custody. as the child could transfer schools to China and the Taiwanese husband could also choose to move. He urged her to stop using the child as a bargaining chip or claiming persecution. Chen Lifu stressed that Liu Zhenya is not a citizen of Taiwan, so there is no justification for her protesting at the Ministry of the Interior. He added that Liu had encouraged other mainland Chinese spouses to protest. If those protesters are also mainland spouses holding residency permits rather than citizenships, the Ministry of the Interior and China's Affairs Council should consider deporting them as well. Senior media commentator Cho Min-yu said on March 25th that the Yaya case raises serious concerns. She questioned how a regular live streamer would know how to file an administrative lawsuit to seek support from civic groups. Cho noted that the organizations backing Yaya appear to have powerful connections, and Yaya's ability to navigate the process suggests she is not an ordinary figure. Cho added that they may be behind-the-scenes guidance, helping Yaya act strategically step by step, and said the entire operation is troubling. She pointed out that Yaya is a live streamer who relies on traffic from the mainland Chinese platform Douyin. By making pro-unification statements during her broadcast, she receives tips from mainland Chinese viewers, money that qualifies as foreign funding. Cho also pointed out that Yaya's reluctance to return to China was financially motivated. Once back in China, she would no longer receive tips and would lose her value. Her greatest appeal lies in staying in Taiwan and criticizing it, while making pro-unification remarks that please nationalistic Chinese viewers. Cho said what she really worried about is losing her entire source of income. Reports also indicate that Yaya is not the only one targeted by Taiwan's immigration authorities for promoting violent unification. Under Chinese spouses active on Douyin, including Enqi and Xiao Wei, they are also flagged for their account and content. Xiao Wei is reportedly the next to be ordered to leave Taiwan. Her husband, Chen, explained that her remarks about unification were not meant to be political, but were part of her efforts to promote products and earn money. The Taiwan National Immigration Agency stated that Xiao Wei had posted multiple videos online, including comments such as, "The streets of Taiwan are filled with 5-star red flags." Authorities concluded after an investigation that her videos promoted aggression against Taiwan and undermined its sovereignty. Xiao Wei was notified to provide a statement. After discussions with China's Affairs Council and other agencies, her dependent residency permit was revoked. She is barred from applying again for 5 years and was given a deadline to leave Taiwan. If she fails to comply, she will be forcibly deported. Xiao Wei was questioned by immigration officers on March 20th and received a formal notice on March 21st. She must leave Taiwan within 10 days, and with March 31st set as a deadline. Facing deportation, Xiao Wei appeared to express despair during the live stream. She openly stated, "I came to Taiwan to make money. I married into Guizhou, but that didn't change my life. I had no choice but to marry my husband and use him as a stepping stone. He spent nearly 600,000 yuan on me." She went on to say, "I've asked my husband why he kept lending me money from Taiwan. He said, 'If I didn't give you money, would you even stay in this family?' That really hit the mark." Xiao Wei has been married in Taiwan for 12 years. In addition to promoting products on Douyin, she frequently returns to China for work. Because she hasn't stayed in Taiwan for the required 183 days per year over 6 years, she has not qualified for a Taiwanese ID. Her most recent videos appear to show poor internet speed and low video quality. During a live stream, she was interrupted by someone speaking Mandarin, suggesting she may no longer be in Taiwan. Meanwhile, online personality Ba Zhong revealed that another mainland Chinese spouse, Enqi, may have quietly left Taiwan and returned to Shanghai, distancing herself from Yaya. As Yaya's case continued to gain attention, a user on the overseas platform X posted on March 26 that Yaya was previously a cultural advisor in Heilongjiang and had ties to the Chinese government's United Front system. There is growing speculation that the Chinese government may now use her as a propaganda symbol, portraying her as a victim in a broader narrative of Taiwan mistreating mainland Chinese spouses. However, a commentator warned that being promoted by the Chinese government as a model case is not necessarily a good thing. On one hand, it draws attention and could provoke jealousy or resentment from others. On the other hand, she could become a political scapegoat if narratives shift, and may lose her freedom of movement and expression. The commentator shared a screenshot from Yaya's earlier Douyin profile. It showed that she described herself as a Heilongjiang Long Tai Cultural Exchange Advisor, a cross-strait youth exchange ambassador from Heilongjiang, and a Hunan native living in Taipei, Taiwan province. Some online users pointed out that the Chinese government's United Front system often sends agents abroad under the banner of cultural exchange. Yaya's titles, such as advisor and ambassador, were seen by some as evidence of her affiliation with the system. Yaya referred to herself as living in Taiwan province, a term that aligns with the Chinese government's official stance on Taiwan. In Taiwan, however, citizens typically identify as Taiwanese, and official documents use terms such as Taiwan or Republic of China rather than Taiwan province. During the controversy, Yaya repeatedly called the authorities to let her stay in Taiwan and not push her into what she described as an abyss of no return. These statements sparked backlash from many in China. Chinese live streamers Happy Brother Xiaolong accused Yaya of being falsely patriotic. He stated, "If China is your homeland, being sent back should be a joyful thing. Why does she seem so reluctant?" In a video, Xiaolong questioned Yaya's patriotism, saying, "Are you truly patriotic or just pretending?" He criticized her for frequently promoting patriotic messages online and building an image of loyalty to China, yet now resisting deportation and describing China as an abyss. He said this raised doubts about whether her professed patriotism was genuine. Xiaolong noted that many in China now use patriotism as a way to gain attention and profit. He gave the example of Chinese influencer Xi Manan, who often spoke about loving China but was later exposed for evading over 9 million yuan in taxes. Xiaolong argued that if Yaya truly loved China, she should have no issue with being returned to her homeland. She says she loves China, so returning should be a happy thing. Why does she complain and act like a victim? He questioned whether her earlier patriotic statements were simply a means to gain popularity and income. He added that true patriotism must stand to test of adversity. In his view, Yaya's situation cast doubt on her motives. If someone shouts patriotic slogans only for personal gain, they may eventually face backlash. Yaya, he said, is a real-life example. He urged people to distinguish between genuine and opportunist displays of patriotism and not to be misled by performances meant to stir emotions. In response, many Chinese users who have access to overseas platform mocked Yaya. "Welcome back to the abyss of no return. Looking forward to updates on Yaya's life in the abyss. She insulted Taiwan, so she went there. She loved China, so she left it. The patriotic influencer lane is getting crowded these days. If she wants to be with her kids, just bring them with her. She took their money and now trashes them. Says a lot about her character. Hurry back, there are 5-starred red flags all over the motherland. Give her some gutter oil. These fake patriots are always the boldest in safe places." Commentator Zhang Yao on X said Yaya is unlikely to have a smooth future in China. She carries a serious liability. She lived in democratic Taiwan and her husband and children are Taiwanese. As a result, she will never gain the full trust of the Chinese government or nationalist supporters. Zhang said Yaya is aware of this and keeps trying to explain away her abyss comment, but those efforts will not help her. Finally, a user from Hunan, Yaya's home province, offered a sarcastic message of welcome. "Welcome home, Yaya. I'm waiting for you in the Hunan branch of the Abyss of No Return."